Hello, theme park enthusiast. I'm here on my lunch hour. I'm here. I'm still working. I didn't actually get laid off or anything. I work for the Postal Service, but I am a big theme park enthusiast, and I figured I'd get to you guys some information that was given to me over the last couple of days, and see what your thoughts are on what's exactly are your expectations for the theme parks when they do reopen. Uh, of course, we focus when we think of theme parks. Most of us focus on, Florida parks because that's where the tourist industry is located. Basically, everybody wants to go to Florida, myself included. Our family loves it, and we grew up there. But SeaWorld announced to many people that they were going to be the first ones opening up, and it was great. I mean, we heard rumors that it was going to be early June. And it is. It turns out that it's true. SeaWorld Aquatica of Texas will be opening up on June 6th to the general public. Followed by, of course, SeaWorld Orlando is going to be opening up, not their Aquatica, but their actual SeaWorld Orlando park, the theme park, on June 11th, I believe. The employees come back on the 10th, and they check everything out and go over new safety precautions, not only for the guests, but also for themselves, of course. We don't want anybody getting sick and whatnot. So this is important. I mean, the CDC has some new rules in place, and everyone has to follow it. With that said, of course, Disney announced that they're going to be opening up July 11th, I believe it was. Interesting that they're taking another month to find out what's going on. Now, I don't know if they're going to use SeaWorld as a scapegoat. I'm not sure what the story is there, but, I hope everything works out very well and everything goes smoothly. Disney is much larger, of course. They have the several parks to concern themselves with. But again, they're not opening all their parks all at once. So we'll see how that turns out. And see if there's anything that was unforeseen. This is an unprecedented time. This has never really happened like this. It's unbelievable. This is across the world. The only theme parks that I know of that were never affected apparently and never shut down was the ones in China. That one, I don't know what you want to call it, a knockoff Disney park or whatever it was over there. But their parks were supposedly doing fine according to China. So we'll see how that goes. I mean, I'm sure some information was passed down to the U.S. so that they can review it and make sure everything's good. With that said, I don't know the exact dates for Universal. Hopefully everything's going to be smooth going there as well. Busch Gardens Tampa announced that they're opening up also on June 11th. But they're in the same category there, Seas chain. I'm going to hope to get down there and see what's happening. I don't know what's going to happen. I contacted SeaWorld Media Public Relations, and I got a email stating that none of them are returning the emails back, and I got to go to corporate. So I sent the email to corporate to find out what's happening. Of course, as everyone knows, Iron Gwazi is about to come online at Busch Gardens Tampa, Icebreaker over at SeaWorld Orlando, and of course we have the ride that's at SeaWorld Texas. It's a pendulum ride. So with all of that, I don't even know what the status of that is. I don't know if they continued construction while everyone was on a break. No telling. So hopefully everything is still scheduled to open up by the end of this year, hopefully. Busch Gardens Williamsburg, of course, had another attraction there. I can't remember the name of it. So they have theirs. And also Busch Gardens Tampa also had a swinging pendulum type ride as well, an S&S swing. So I don't know how that went either. That's interesting. I forgot about that one, where the old Congo ride was, the Rhino Rally. So I just want to see what your thoughts are. What do you guys think? Do you think the parks are going to be okay? I posted what I found out online. There's a long list of stuff that Seas Chain is going to be taking into consideration. We're talking employees and guests have to wear masks, temperature checks at the gate. But this is all stuff we all know about. But what they went on to elaborate a little further was they're going to be doing some mass cleaning in between as guests come in and out of areas. They're going to have crews for cleaning purposes only, trained probably by the CDC personnel or another cleaning company in town or wherever it is, national contract, to teach the employees how to correctly clean, to minimize any kind of exposure or infection for the guests. So this should be very interesting, actually. Some new things. 6 feet distancing, of course, will be enforced. Children 2 and over will have to wear a mask. Interestingly enough, I believe I heard a rumor they're going to have a cool-off zone, meaning where you can go and sit down. You'll be 6 feet apart in your party. Of course, we'll stay together, but from the other group, where you can actually remove your mask and just sit there and kind of catch your breath, perhaps get a drink of water, whatever may be needed. I don't know. But this is an awesome idea. I think this is great. I think it'll work out very well. But we don't know much about what actually is happening. So I'm trying to get in touch with the relations there, public relations, to find out what steps are being taken. If there's a guideline, a set standard of what they are proposing. I know that buffets will be offline because they don't want people touching everything. I mean, I wouldn't want anybody touching. It's bad enough in the past. Kids always, especially those chocolate fondue things. Oh my God, you don't want to ever use those. But interestingly enough, the buffets will be probably offline, but regular service food with paper plates, non-returnable. You know how they used to have some of the fancy restaurants that actual dinnerware, stuff like that. I don't think they're going to go that route anymore. I think they're going to stick to paper plates and plastic, silverware, whatever, and just throw everything away and be done with it. So I think that's a good step too. Cost. Unfortunately, with the closures, each and every company lost millions and millions of dollars in revenue. I'm afraid to say that most likely next year's cost is going to be probably jacked up quite high. The reason being is they lost all this money. They got to recuperate it to survive. So they're going to have to pass the cost that they lost to the actual guests, unfortunately. Now, I don't know if they're going to do it next year or the following year, but sooner or later, costs will have to be risen. It's just common sense. Now let's talk about the smaller chains, like Six Flags and some of the other family-owned parks, etc. Well, Six Flags isn't exactly small, but I consider them a little smaller because they used to be a lot larger. They consolidated, sold out some of their properties, and now they're much smaller. But they are also implementing some new safety precautions and procedures for both the guests and the employees as well. I did see something on that, and there's going to be something this week, I believe on Wednesday. I should have more information on what's happening with the Six Flags chain. Also, let's see, Cedar Fair. They're up. I don't know what's going to happen with them. I mean, they're up there. They're all over the place, but mainly their main park, of course, is Sandusky, and I haven't heard anything about them opening up as of right now. So it should be interesting to see how they're going to handle that issue. Because let's face it, summertime is the time they make their money. So I don't know how they're going to handle it. I hope they open up soon. Let's see, who else? Family-owned parks. We have one here in Texas. Good friends of ours in Seguin, ZDTs. They unfortunately are still waiting from Governor Abbott here in Texas to find out what procedures and necessities are needed in order for them to reopen. They also are going to be very hard struck. I mean, a lot of money lost, revenue lost. Summertime is their big time, and it couldn't have come at a worse time. Usually spring break is when they basically bank on that money to keep them afloat, to survive into the winter months, and etc. So I hope the Dan houses will be okay. I really do. I hope that things will come their way somehow, some way. Other than that, I just wanted to give you guys a heads up. And if you have any questions or comments or concerns, let me know. Put it in the comments, and I'll get back to you guys as soon as I can. Until then, guys, I hope that you all stay safe. Don't forget to wear your mask. As you see, I don't have to because I'm outside. But stay safe, and I hope to see you guys around the park soon. Take care. Bye.